And we are back with the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly North American Cup. I'm ZP, joined by Slash here today because Comcast brutally murdered Hexagrams in his sleep. But we're bringing you the round of 8. This is going to be Cloud9 versus Metatrone. Cloud9, of course, one of the top North American teams, as evidenced by them getting picked up by Cloud9. Metatrone, a French team that we don't know too much about, but had a pretty decent showing with some unique strategies in our round of 16 just a moment ago. So they're going to meet a strong challenge here today in Cloud9.
Yeah, I expect this to be a lot more difficult for Metatrone than FBI. I would say maybe to the times of 10 or 20 times. It's going to be a lot harder for them. I mean, I really did favor them in their match against FBI just because of the inexperience of them playing against the team. But Cloud9, with Envious not being in the bracket today, nor IDDQD or Flat Earth, it's really between Cloud9 and LG to meet in the finals, and then for anyone else in the bracket to see what they could do to upset this. Probably that would be Impulse 11, Humble Brag, and Code 7 as the 3 teams. Even Gringos were able to beat Quake Fortress in yesterday's event. So I think those are probably the top 3 in my mind of who could, what kind of run they would make. But Metronome is going to have to be, they're going to have to play a lot better, I think, than what they played in the first game. And I don't think that the Bastion stuff is going to work as well. And I think it's going to be much harder for them to adapt to.
Yeah, I agree. The Bastion stuff, C9 probably going to have a better answer for it. But we are getting into draft here. Very quickly, things moving along at a quicker pace for this set. C9 versus Metatrone. Map bans are coming out. C9 taking out Dorado. Metatrone taking out Volskaya. So C9, interesting map strategy from them coming out so far. They're banning out payload maps they want to play on, while Metatrone is just doing the standard ban out the capture point maps because no one wants to play on them, period. Although, as I say that, Metatrone takes out King's Row, so I don't know if there's some sort of meta game going on, mind games with the map banning here, where it's like, well, look, we'll ban the payloads we don't want. But this could end with people on Temple of Anubis. Who knows? I
mean, I'm just, or Hanamura.
Yeah.
And boy, wouldn't that be just amazing.
Well, Temple of Anubis finally goes down. Cloud9 not wanting to play that game of chicken for too long. I know, it's still there. It's still lurking.
I'm worried.
On the bright side, though, there is still Route 66 that's still around.
That's true. That would be great. All the games that I've seen, the matches and the scrims, and nope, it is gone. Hanamura is gone too.
So we get a more mundane Hollywood, Nambani, and Lijiang.
I gotta say, I'm pretty thankful Hanamura's out of there.
Yeah, Hanamura, it hasn't happened in a long time, but we had like 2 weeks in a row where Hanamura just managed to sneak its way into the finals over and over again. It's like, wait a second. And it just comes down to the fact that teams know that other teams don't want to play in these capture point maps, but they also sort of go, maybe we can eke out a slight map advantage by banning this out first. But, every now and then you play that game of chicken and you lose horribly, so...
not to go a little bit off topic, but just to get rid of my FBI friends as they're out of the bracket now, make kind of a larger point for those of you wondering out there. I mean, Quake Fortress, we've seen, has assembled over in Europe with Quake Legends, Cypher, Cooler, and Avec all on one team, and then they've combined 2 Team Fortress 2 Legends and Shadowburn and Forsaken onto this kind of super team, and even they are having their problems defeating the top echelon of the European teams, IDD, QD, Flat Earth, Reunited. They're having some issues. We see here on the American side, FBI, of course, they're losing to, they lost out into what most people would say a mid-tier European team. And then you've had, not as much success with Dehang and ID, even though they've played pretty well on TLO right now. The Quake players, my community, have not had as much success transferring over to this game, and I think that will have to take some time. But it's hard not to say that the TF2 community has done rather well for themselves, a little bit more than the Quake guys, and even people that aren't from either of these games, such as the majority of Envious and Cloud9. It shows that you do not have to be from what is most people think as, the historic competitive first-person shooter deathmatch games of Quake and Team Fortress 2 to be at the top of this game. Cloud9 and Envious have players from several other games, including games like World of Warcraft, PvP players on their teams, and DPS players such as Reaver on Cloud9, who comes from a game called Darkfall, and I'm sure none of you even know what that game is. He doesn't come from a Quake background, or he even played Team Fortress or Wolfenstein or Call of Duty, maybe like a little bit, but not really. And you can become a top player, including in the DPS classes, which are predominantly, yes, been majority of Quake and Team Fortress players for all the other teams, such as Pluppy and TVIC as a European TF2.
Well, one thing I would say on that too is that there's also an idea of standing on the shoulders of giants and whatnot too, right? If you are dedicated enough and look for the information, it's a lot easier to figure out, okay, here's how I set up my setup, here's what I do to practice my hit scan aim, here's what I do to really train this up, because you look at the Quake community, people experiment for years and years with, okay, these are settings that work, these are settings that don't work. You don't want to have crazy high sensitivity in most cases, you want to have lower sensitivity. So just generally smart, aware players that come into the game with an open mind, do their research, figure, okay, here's how I'm going to improve myself. You can improve very, very rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, it's both ends of the coins here, where if you can have great team chemistry in this game and the way that the game is developed, and you can see it's very team oriented, you can, make a name for yourself, and you guys can win as a team. And then, as you can see, Rafa, for example, hasn't been playing Overwatch that long, maybe I would say 2 months, but you can see the individual skill is there because of his pedigree and because of his history. On certain classes, you can tell that is there. So there is both ends of you can become a top player even if you didn't have the long competitive FPS experience in other games, but it definitely helps if you do. And that definitely comes through more, I would say, with the DPS and the tank classes that are able to do damage, such as, like Roadhog and Diva and such.
Yep. So now, while just look at the lobby here. One quick moment while we have a moment of downtime. Just to note, for the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly NA Cup, we are sponsored by multiple different entities here today. We have Rocket, of course. They make great peripherals for your computer. If you connect it to your PC in any way, they probably make it. Check them out. DX Racer, they make great seats for you to sit in. They are awesome. G2A, get some of the best deals online on your games. We're going to g2a.com. And note that we are partnered with Metatrone today, as well as many of our tournaments are. If you go to Metatrone.com, find our tournament, type in code GGNA9. You can donate for free. We're going to be reading some of those donations on stream after the next game. And yeah, definitely get in on that. Also, if you type exclamation point DX Racer and exclamation point DX Racer and G2A respectively, we're giving away an Overwatch copy courtesy of G2A and a chair from DX Racer. So definitely check that out. So right now we are dealing with a few things from getting people in the lobby, but we'll be ready to go here. Map 1 Hollywood between Cloud9 and Metatrone in just a moment.
Just an update and throughout the other parts of the bracket. Luxury Watch, which is the Korean team, which participated in their first GosuGamers Weekly last week, which is very cool to see that an Asian team, by the way, it's 5:30 in the morning over in Korea. So they've been awake and they play since 2 to 3:30 a.m. till 7:30 just to play in an online tournament with 250 ping for, just to compete. And they actually won by forfeit their first match over Cooldown. It was 1-1, and then Cooldown decided to forfeit because I think they had another game that they had to attend. And now Luxury Watch is playing LG, of course, is Enigma's team. Mix-up and in the other quarterfinals. I think the biggest game, actually, all the other quarters are pretty good. Humble Brag and Impulse 11 are going on right now. They're in game 2. Humble Brag is a team that's played pretty well throughout the GosuGamers Weeklies. They have, a change in lineup now as well. Clamp OK has joined. Carnage is no longer on that team. And they're playing Impulse 11, who played very well yesterday.
Yeah, Impulse 11, they were impressive yesterday. Sure, they didn't get to the finals or anything like that, but for a team that just started out, they looked impressive. Definitely a good early showing for them. But finally, we are in game. This is map number 1, Cloud9 versus Metatrone. It's going to be on lovely, beautiful Hollywood, and really, just look at the sky even. It's one of the coolest textured skies. I mean, there's a lot of cool graphics in Overwatch, but Hollywood definitely has some of the better graphics, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the newer maps, the ones that they released after the launch, which includes Hollywood and Route 66 and a lot of the King of the Hill maps, they're very pretty. and the maps they do look cool. The sun, in general, is a little bit much for me. I think they need to tone down the sun just a little bit.
Is the question?
I'm not sure if you know, but when you have a white crosshair and you look into the sun, you kind of can't see anything, which defeats the purpose of a game where you need to see things.
Well, that's one of those things that I have actually annoyed people at Blizzard about, but I know it's one of those things that's inherently low priority, but I'm someone where really likes customizing my crosshair in games.
Dude, there are clouds. I see the clouds in the map. Just put them in front of the sun so that they don't block me. I mean,
then again, we're also gamers. We might also just naturally be vampires and have an aversion to the sun. But
it's cool. It's cool that they want to have in-game glare. And I'm all about that, you know, aesthetic and all that. But please no, please take it down a little bit.
So taking a look at Cloud9 as they roll out here. Cloud9, of course, famous for running their double orb comp, perhaps before anyone else. They are not running it here today. We got Kai on the Winston, Reaver on the Widowmaker, Adam on Mercy, Debit on the Reinhardt, Surefour on McCree, and Grego running things on Lucio. And yeah, interesting changes there. Surefour with the first kill of the game, though, on Nostalgia, able to take him out as McCree. Debit takes out Tack, 2, now 3 kills with Reaver's pick for Cloud9. Cloud9 starting out very strong. Surefour able to take out Milky, and this is a very quick blitz from Cloud9, almost a full team wipe in their favor, and they're almost certainly going to take point A off this.
Yep, full team wipe. Reaver on offense. Reaver's been playing a lot of Widow lately, as I've seen Widow return now to the top tier. What it feels like in the last few days of scrims, and even in yesterday's matches, and maybe even the end of last week's game, especially with the changes, I think Widow is right back in to the meta.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where I'm not sure anything really changes except for the fact that people are always, wait a second, you can be really good with Widow, you just need to up your level of play. You know, maybe you have players like Taimu to thank for that, I'm not sure.
Well, I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's a combination, as we see in this game, is that Lucio and Mercy are, I think, back again as maybe your default comp for majority of the comps. Before, where we've been seeing the last, I don't know, what, 3-4 weeks, we had Symmetra and Zenyatta as your supports, and when you have Mercy and Lucio as your supports, it opens up the options of having to free the Soldier and the Widow. Be very good again.
Reaver with a triple kill on Widow right now, absolutely going off. Gets a quad kill, takes out Tsuyuki. So Reaver absolutely going crazy there. We're watching Surefour. Surefour got flanked a little bit by Tsuyuki in the middle of that. Reaver able to take out Starming, and Reaver having himself a game so far, just absolutely going wild on the Widowmaker. Very appropriate to the conversation we were just talking about.
I mean, if you weren't here when the game first launched, Boosted Widow was really good. And if you haven't forgotten, since we've had to watch 3 Orb, Tracers, and Genjis for the last month, Boosted Widow is still really good. Especially if you're hitting headshots, you're killing pretty much anything, even.
Meanwhile, so Reaver on the blitz here takes out 2 to start with. Surefour now rushing in, able to take out Starming. This is an absolute slaughter in favor of Cloud9 so far. Milky for the Metatrone side, able to get a pick of his own, but Reaver taking him out in a Widow versus Widow fight, and Cloud9 so far has not been able to be stopped. Reaver gets another pick on the Tsuyuki. Reaver and Surefour just absolutely balling right now for Cloud9.
I mean, this map is great for Widow in general. I mean, we've seen a lot of Widows on offense, but this map too, throughout the entire, haul to get here, and even here at the end, you don't have that spawn anymore, but it's still really good.
You have the Deadeye coming for Surefour. Interesting stuff there. It doesn't actually kill anyone, but it almost insta-shadows the Reinhardt shield. That actually can be decent from time to time. When you see Zarya in the back now, Tack able to get a little bit of work done. We saw Tack, of course, do a lot in the last game. Melting people now as Zarya gets a double kill, just walks in the back. And I've seen more and more of that from Zarya coming out where, maybe people haven't really prioritized good lightning gun tracking, but when I see Zarya get in on someone, she just sort of destroys people, even if she doesn't have that much energy. She has 70 energy there, though, so it's definitely helped.
Yeah, I think we will definitely see more Zarya as we go through the bracket today. We'll have to see how the next map goes. Metatrone finally wins a team fight, finally is able to make a stand here on defense. Ults are both back to null, except for they have a res if they need it.
Look at this coming up from Cloud9. They're all on the top banister here, waiting for their month to drop down. They're going to drop down. Reaver now looking for the picks. Hits Zarya twice. Good shots coming out from him. Has Milky in his sights if he can get on him. Surefour able to take out Starming. 2 kills now for Cloud9 as they move forward. If they can just get 1 or 2 more kills here without dying, this is going to be the snowball they need to push this payload forward. Reaver looking for the last pick. Earthshatter comes down from Debit. Meanwhile, the Mercy res goes all the way in the back. Decent res for them coming back up, but probably too little too late here. Winston on the cart, knocking people away, just causing absolute havoc. The kill feed is all in favor of Cloud9 right now. Sure4 going crazy, Reaver going crazy, and that is going to be it. A good time on Hollywood set by Cloud9, and for the most part, they really weren't stopped there.
No, what are you going to do? As I mentioned before, it's going to be much tougher for these guys to stop Cloud9 than it was FBI.
Yeah. And Reaver, this had to be in the Streets phase of Hollywood where he just got 3 kills, one after another. And it is Streets phase Hollywood. Take a look at this. This is just beauty. Especially that shot. That shot was, wow.
There was no wall hack there.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to really get hype about the wall hack play of the games. That was pretty good.
Chat, if they had been only 2 seconds faster, our chat would be spammed with memes. Looking at the time of 4:22 being set here.
You know, so, VAC takes on a whole new meaning in this game. One, because there is no VAC. It doesn't exist. Who knows what the anti-cheats are going to happen? I've already seen an aimbot. And there is actual wall hacks in the game. That's an ability for you to have, and if you're a good Widow, you will have that like a quarter to a third of the whole game, which helps a lot. I mean, I think now that's also a big part of why she has returned is still a great ability to have for your whole
definitely game. I mean, it's one of those things that tends to be underrated, but the reality is it's full awareness of the other team, and even if it's not directly getting the kills, it's letting you position in such a way that you're more likely to get kills. And I think even the players themselves at sometimes can underrate just how effective it is. Obviously the Widow knows how effective it is because you're getting shots off it, but everyone else,
no one should underrate wall hacks just because they're wall hacks. It's an FPS game. You see where people are.
Exactly.
That's a huge deal of what you're going to do. I would almost say the wall hack, I think, has been underused a little bit. You're probably definitely right, especially because we've seen the other metas be dominated in the last 2 months. For the previous month, we've had the double orb and Zenyatta, and that's even going to continue, I think, with IDDQD, and the Torbjorn is level 3 now. Level 3 of this comp, which I can't even believe, but we'll see that maybe later. And then before that we had monkeys and reapers, and then now this is back.
Well, speaking of Torbjorn, one thing we haven't seen in a while here, just because of the favors towards more Zenyatta-oriented comps, we're actually going to see the double builder defense coming out from Cloud9. Here we have Reaver on the Widowmaker, Sure4 on McCree, Kai on Torbjorn, Adam on the Symmetra, Debit on the Reinhardt, and Grego rounding things out on the Mercy. But the interesting thing here to me, Slasher, is that historically teams have not really favored defensive Widow too much, but Reaver's on the defensive Widow, and just in general across the scene, I've been seeing more defensive Widow in general, just period.
Yeah, I think that is, as we've spoken, a little bit of the rise of Widow and then Mercy's return back to the meta. I think it's also because Reaver is really good, and as we've talked about, individual talent can you through, and individual talent lets you play whatever characters you want. That's why Fluffy, for example, they would do so many different characters, and his team trusts him to do whatever because he's able to pull it off. So
Adam just somehow killed Nostalgia, and I think he has Spam Orb connected, but that's really bad news because that means he's already built up some degree. Actually, he only got 14% ult off that. I don't even get it. He got the kill. But I
do want to mention this Torbjorn on D on Hollywood is something that I've seen in scrims the last few days. I think it's amazing. It's been talked about more and more, especially with the armor packs that Torbjorn can get in the same philosophy as Symmetra, and how much armor that he can just get and throw around all the time. Torbjorn is a great pick for Hollywood on D.
So we have Metatron trying to rush in here, but they're running right into the Torbjorn turret and the sniper fire. That is not what they want. That's 2 quick kills for Cloud9. Tracer now in the back, finding herself very, very alone. Reaver sitting on top, and this perch is actually really, really good for Widow because if you look at, not much else is going to kill Widow here aside from another Widow. I mean, do you challenge it with a Pharah? It's probably not going to end in your favor versus a Widow of Reaver's quality.
Yeah, I think this is going to be rough. They're going to have to try to use their Zenyatta, try to maybe discord Grego. They're going to have to get rid of one because they're going to have a teleporter up. They have a res up. they have to get rid of one or both of these options before the team fight, or it's not going to matter.
So we see Metatrone coming in through the building towards the payload. Devitt has Earth Shatter at the right, could drop at any time. Doesn't even need to. Gets a kill off the Fire Strike. Adam takes out Tack. Multiple kills for Cloud9 here as Metatrone sort of getting picked off piecemeal. They certainly can't go in with the people they have remaining, but if they die, it's just going to stagger the deaths even more. Surefour able to mop up some of the remaining kills. Kai being super aggressive on the Torb takes out Tsuyuki. So Metatrone going to get pushed back again here, and look at the ultimate situation here, Hex or Slasher, for the next setup here. Pulse Bomb goes off, takes out Grego, but so many ults up now for Cloud9.
Metatrone needs a plan. Teleporter is up now. They have to kill the teleporter first, and Mercy's down. This is their time. They have to kill the teleporter.
Starming hit a really nice Earth Shatter there. Was able to knock down 2 people, get the kills afterwards. Still alive. Milky Plow coming in with the Junkrat. Teleporter goes down. Surefour and Kai though are bringing this back a bit here, and that's double kills for Surefour. Kai's still up, and Surefour has really been killing it this game so far on McCree.
They found the teleporter, but it was after Mercy had already gone through and rezzed everyone. So they did get it, but it was too late. They lost a team fight. There's still, even though ults are even right now, I would still favor Cloud9 in this. They're going to have, a few more opportunities to break this, but they're really going to have to get rid of Mercy or Symmetra. More, I would say, get rid of Symmetra before she gets her next teleporter up.
Definitely. Take a look at here, Surefour. Here, Surefour being really aggro, just bops Nostalgia with 2 left clicks, looking to get the Widow as well. Missing his shots, gonna have to back up, but still, taking out the Zenyatta, still a pretty big deal. We see Metatrone coming in over the top with the Reinhardt, trying to make something happen here. Tsuyuki, though, takes out the turret, but the thing is, Metatrone's been bleeding deaths here. That being said, 3 kills now in favor of that. Tsuyuki and Milky really making it happen while short-handed, and now they have a great opportunity to come in here, but look at the Symmetra turrets just burning down Tsuyuki. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going right. Adam has his teleport up again, which is going to make things even more difficult. They're going to have to get rid of the teleporter again, and they're going to have to kill the Mercy. Realistically, they probably have one chance to do this. They need everything to go right.
Actually,
in this team fight.
They have one chance to take this, but actually it doesn't matter because the overall time left is 1 minute. So mathematically, even if this is going well, which is going pretty well for them so far, Nostalgia, Milky getting 2 good picks. Resurrect comes up. Molten Core is out. This could stymie the entire push. Molten Core very, very effective, but we'll see how this goes. Surefour able to mop up with Kai. They're turning this around. Down goes Lucio, and Cloud9 with another effective hold, and that is certainly over. It's been over actually for over a minute or two now. But
you're right.
Still,
it was, it's a good try from Metronome, but this is Cloud9 is one of the best teams right now. The comp that they're running, they're not being able to be very successful. They're getting picked. If Reaver just takes out the Genji or the Zenyatta, then they have to wait, regroup, and their Milky is not able to get the picks back.
And then Surefour with the final kill on the Widow there. And time has officially expired. It is GG, another full team wipe in favor of Cloud9. But yeah, Cloud9, I mean, honestly, it comes down to the fact not only is their team play better, but I think even just mechanically, Surefour and Reaver are outplaying them on a level that I don't think they were prepared for.
Yeah. We're going to have to see how they do into map 2. Update throughout the bracket, though. Impulse 11 beats Humble Brag, and we'll await the winner, Cloud9 Metronome, in the semifinals.
Good stuff coming up from Impulse 11. I mean, we saw from yesterday's weekly, Impulse 11 is a team on the rise. They're only going to get better as time goes on. Because, for me,
former
anytime
SK
I look at a
Gaming players, many former SK Gaming players.
I think they have former Eccentric on their team as well.
I
with
think it's a
likely
mix of Eccentric and SK Gaming together for the most part.
Play the game for Mercy. We see more of this now as well. Play the game changes. So, and this actually, I think this is the mega res that saves everything. It brings up Surefour out there. It wasn't quite the huge res, but it's definitely enough for them to win the fight. I don't know. I actually take a little bit of question to play the game algorithm there, especially with Kai at 23 kills streak. But it's one of those things they're just trying to address complaints with the system, I suppose.
No, I get it. Mercy needed her ult. Every Mercy player needed to see her ult. Though I question you, when's the last time you saw Lucio get play of the game? It's been quite a while, hasn't it not?
Well, we did see it at least in the last King of the Hill match with that boop, but it doesn't happen nearly as often.
That was sick, though. That was amazing. Yeah, if you could do that all the time, then you deserve play of the game every single game. But yeah, when you play the game, has been a little a little weird, a little odd. I love it when it's a Widowmaker, especially in matchmaking. They get 1 kill while staying in spawn after 10 seconds, and then body shot the second guy for 50, and then it ends. That's my new favorite.
Yeah, so the play a game out, it was just, you know, it's one of those things, it's a work in progress. I mean, I sort of get the complaints of the old system where it's like, well, it's Q of the game all the time. But on the same note, a lot of the times it would catch what would be a game-defining play. It's just sort of, how do you create an algorithm that really catches the truly game-defining support play? And on that note, is a 3-person res really as significant as a 4-person Deadeye? Hard questions to be asked, but we are going to Numbani, it looks like, for map number 2.
I think Q of the game's okay. Because Q of the game's never going away. There's actually only going to be an increase of Qs of the game as more characters get
And actually, when you think about a lot of the Qs of the game too, I mean, if you get in a high-level comp game, if you get 3 to 4-person Deadeye, you deserve that 3 to 4-person Deadeye. It is not easy at all to catch comp players in a situation where you actually get that. You know, look at different situations, like sure, you're in a low MMR pub or something, you know, people don't even know what high noon is. They think it's 9 o'clock or something, and they'll all die. But in a high level game, people are all used to that. So McCree really has to find a moment where he's stealthy, he goes in, people are distracted, and then he gets it. And it's very hard to thread the needle like that at times.
Yeah, no, it's true. So we're going into Lijiang. Are we going to see Bastion again? I mean, if Cloud9 was playing their first game, or did they have a bye? I think Cloud9 had a bye first round. So if they were watching the stream at all, they would know that they had a Bastion in the middle. I can't see them doing this again. It was triple monkey, double Lucio Bastion.
Yeah, triple monkey, double Lucio. I mean, it worked for them before. I don't see why they wouldn't go to the well again. I mean, it is against Cloud9 that might affect the judgment a little bit, but I mean, from their perspective, they just used it. Maybe they would try it again.
We've seen Torbjorn a little bit in the meta. That wouldn't surprise me from Cloud9. It wouldn't surprise me to see Cloud9 bring out, you know, the Mad Dog comp with Symmetra and Tracers and such. Well,
the Mad Dog comp. That name is just, you know, it's funny.
I like that much better than God comp or quote unquote Cancer comp. Way cooler. Thank you.
I agree. Also, something like Cancer comp. I mean, it's I'm not even like that comfortable saying it on stream to begin with, let alone for like a bigger event down the line. So it's like, yeah, you know, I definitely can't call it that.
Yeah, probably not the best.
Yeah, no. So taking a look at, oh no, it's happening again.
Well, it is happening again.
I think. I mean, they're still loading in, but we got 2 Lucios for the Metatrone side, 2 Winstons, a Bastion, but their last player isn't loaded in, so I wonder. Oh, here comes Tack on the Reapers, so slightly different, I guess.
Slightly, but Tack played such a great Reaper at the end, he's probably thinking that's the way to go. Actually, the only alteration that's surprising a little bit is on Cloud9 side. They do have the Symmetra double Tracer setup, but no Zenyatta.
Bastion goes down immediately. He's not going to get the value that he got against the FBI team. 4 kills so far for Cloud9. I want to say 4 kills, sure 4, etc. Gets on the tongue. But look at this. The Tracers are absolutely dominating. Reaver and Sure4 doing their work, making their mark known early on, and they're going to take control of the center point with ease.
I mean, half of the point of running the comp was definitely Zenyatta and giving the orb and allowing your flankers to go attack and camp spot and stuff. But the other half of the comp is Symmetra and her being able to give 50 regenerating shields to characters, especially Tracer, which buffed them enough, enabled them to run around all the time and rewind and never die. And that's still part of what we see here.
Reaver's bomb actually took out Suzuki there. We see Sure4 in the back. This is an absolute Tracer deconstruction right now as Sure4 and Reaver combine for 4 kills. And let's not forget, they also have the 276s, which provide a lot of poke damage as well. But either way, this is a very strong comp coming out from Cloud9, and I don't know if Metatrone is really prepared for this, because this is nothing short of dominant right now.
No, Metatrone is bringing out the comp that they had on the last point of this map against FBI, which worked very well on them, but it feels like they, you know, if they're going to go in with this double monkey Reaper thing, at least try again. But no, they switched right out of it. The only thing we haven't mentioned now is Cloud9 and this double Soldier. We have seen Soldier used a lot more since these recent changes. We've seen Envious use Soldier a bunch on Gibraltar especially, and now we're seeing Cloud9 with his double Soldier. I do like it. Soldier is still great. You can do far. There's no drop-off damage like Kree has. And,
yeah, no, the Soldier, he's really good. And also, he's one of those characters that it's kind of interesting. We have the tech visor coming out now, actually pushing Metatrone back into their base. So Metatrone very much out of sorts here. They have to retake the middle control point, but you have to have your own base first, as Grego and Surefour and Reaver being absolutely devastating. We do have someone in the back. He's going to get taken out. But to continue my point about Soldier is that, people look at Soldier and go, oh, he's easy, he's the COD character. No, his tracking aim is some of the most demanding in the entire game, and he probably has one of the absolute highest skill curves. So as the game moves on and evolves, you're going to see people get better and better at him.
Yeah, no, I mean, only characters with hit scan aim, such as Widow and McCree and Soldier, people are only going to continue to get better and never miss you. And, it's only going to be great when people have accuracy at 50-60%, which they do, and, bullets are huge.
Well, it's kind of funny. People can talk about hit scan. One of my good friends that I talk to all the time, sort of like, what happens when the Steph Curry of FPS games come out and just starts doing ridiculous things with hit scan characters? I mean, it's going to happen as time goes on, as people just move
we have
forward.
already seen it. I mean, in Overwatch, hit scan characters can't get you as far to winning the game as it can in games like a Quake or Team Fortress, just because it's a different type of game and you have abilities and you have especially shields in this game that can soak up a lot of damage. If you're really, really good, you can do damage, but there are ways to mitigate that and block it.
So we have Surefour gang in the back right now. We do have a Widowmaker coming out now from Nostalgia on the Metatrone side. Just something to try and switch us up. But Grego and Surefour not making it easy. Getting 2 kills so far. Plow able to take out Surefour as a Junkrat. Junkrat actually not one of the worst characters against Tracer. It's not that Tracer can't kill Junkrat, but Junkrat has a lot of cheesy ways of killing the Tracer. That being said, Kai with the double kills as a Soldier now, putting a lot of pressure on the Nostalgia. And it can be really hard to hit Soldier when he's attacking like that as Widow. He's one of the more invasive characters in the game in terms of his AD strafing and just general pressure.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat's nades are the sizes of, I don't know, like balloons, footballs, basketballs or something. So there's always a chance as a Tracer you're going to run over it or you're going to run into a trap. And even with the Symmetra health, he does enough damage that you die, and you die faster than if you were going to do a Pharah. So Junkrat has been used as an anti-flanker, anti-Tracer Genji mode, and it works pretty good.
We do have Tech Visor coming out here, and really what we're seeing is Metatrone stuck in their base again. They're not even able to get out. This pressure from Cloud9 is absolutely relentless, pushing them back and then some. Surefour, Reaver getting to the back. Really a full team effort from Cloud9 here, and I don't know if Metatrone really has an answer to this, because they are facing the cream of the crop in NA competition right now, and Cloud9 definitely showing that they've been leveling up as well since the last time we saw them.
I mean, Reaver and Surefour both have great Tracers, and that allows them to play this comp so well. That's why IDD, QD, and Envy and these guys can play it so well, because their main DPS players have so much practice on the characters in the comp, which have allowed them to do well. And when Symmetra Shield's on top of it, I bet you if we have the amount of deaths for Surefour and Reaver throughout this game and this tournament, it will be quite low, especially when they play Tracer in this style.
And this is just, there's nothing more you can say about this game. I mean, you can talk about strategy and tactics all you want, and while those matter a lot in Overwatch, to all the people that complain that the game doesn't have as much mechanical skill as they would like, and those people are notable in the FPS community, look at a game like this. I mean, what else can you say to this game other than the fact that Cloud9 is just winning this on a strong mechanical level off their play on Tracer and 76 right now?
And I think in general, a team winning and dominating all the time shows that there is, a very, very high top tier. And with IDD-QD being, I don't know, like 45-0, 46-0 in sets or whatever it is, look, it's still online play. We haven't had LAN championships yet. That will be coming, and that really determines who is the best in the world. It still shows that there have been a ton of teams that have played on both servers. IDD-QD's played with 150 ping in North American server and still won with individual aim skill and team composition. So that high top tier definitely does exist.
Yeah. And, wow, just look at this play the game cover Surefour. The kill feed is all red. So Cloud9 dispatching Metatrone from the tournament in a very severe fashion, but what else to be expected? Cloud9, one of the best teams in NA, and definitely showing it here today. And I don't think I've actually seen that card before. 6 Tech Visor kills. I see Soldier a lot in pubs. It's just not... Whatever, I'm not sure if that card is new or what, but good stuff coming out from Grego.
Yeah. Good stuff from Cloud9. Rather easy victory. Now they're going to go against Impulse 11, which will be their first real test of the tournament. Other side of the bracket, Code7, who played very well last week. They beat Gringos, who also, was playing very well yesterday in their game.
Well, the interesting thing here is that Code7 came very, very close to upsetting Envious last week.
Yes,
they came down to the wire, and arguably, if some Zenyatta's had merely hit Transcendence, they might have won that game. It came very, very close. So I do wonder if Luminosity isn't quite done with Team LW. Seeing Luminosity versus Code7, that could be quite a game. So we might be switching off to that. We'll have to see what's going on in the break. But this is the GosuGamers Overwatch Weekly NA Cup. I'm ZP, joined by Sasha. We're going to be taking a short break as we bring you the semifinals coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.